first, can you just very quickly explain your relationship with Mr. Trump for our viewers?
Well, I've known Donald Trump for 30 years, and my company and I represented him in the lobbying and public affairs world for almost 20 years, ending about 10 years ago.
Right. And so can you give us, given that you know the man pretty well, and probably you know the man about as well as anybody in Washington, D.C. does, tell us your best Donald Trump story.
Oh, gosh. Well, there's a lot of competition for that honor. But, you know, I guess a real quick one is he was opposing the establishment of an Indian gaming casino in Bridgeport, Connecticut once, and testified at the hearing. And when the legislators sort of backed him into a corner about it, he finally took the tack of saying, well, the man sitting over there is not an Indian. You cannot give him a casino because he doesn't look like an Indian to me.
Charlie, lots of speculation in Washington and in Republican circles about what's going to happen with the guy who's now the national frontrunner and first in most New Hampshire polls, second in a lot of Iowa polls. What's your best guess about where and when Donald Trump's pursuit for the presidency ends? Is it the Oval Office or something short of that?
Well, first of all, Donald Trump, in addition to being a friend, he's a brilliant businessman. He's a great celebrity, knows how to milk that for everything, and he's a good entertainer. So naturally, he's getting a lot of attention from the press and from a lot of angry voters. But no, he will not be president. He will not be the nominee. He'll go through a few primaries, I think. And then as the other candidates get better known and people figure out their credentials and where they stand, I think Donald's likely to finish, you know, third, fourth, or lower in the first few primaries, and I don't know what he'll do after that, but he will not get the daily attention by 6 or 7 networks he's getting now.
Charlie, I'm curious. You know, you were. I think it's not a criticism or a slight to say that you were a member in good standing of the Washington establishment. We hear from people all the time that Republican establishmentarians right now are kind of freaking out about the prospect of the rest of the summer and all of the fall being dominated by Donald Trump. Is there anything that the Republican establishment in its atrophied state can do to stop him and shut him down?
Well, I appreciate being a member of the establishment, but I don't know who the others are, so I can get together with them. But no, listen, we're starting our debates next week, and there will be debates each month. In fact, there'll be 2 debates, then probably another 2 in early September. The debates will cause the other candidates, especially the major candidates, to get better known, to get better covered. And I'm sure Donald will still be in the news, but he'll have a lot of competition from people who seriously have a chance to be president. And we have a very good field. So, no, I'm not freaked out about it. At this same time in earlier cycles, people were freaking out about Ron Paul hogging up attention and maybe hurting our brand, or Pat Buchanan hogging up attention or hurting our brand. In the end, those guys did not hurt the brand. The nominee, the eventual nominee, sets the tone and defines the brand.
Charlie, what's the craziest idea you've heard somebody float about how to deal with Mr. Trump?
Oh, you know, I know a lot of people who think we ought to just go beg him, which is the stupidest thing you could do with Donald.
Beg him to get out of the race?
Yeah, beg him to get out.
Why wouldn't that work?
Well, it wouldn't work because it would just prove to him that he's getting a lot of attention and getting under some people's skin, which, again, he's a brilliant man. He's a great salesman. He knows how to read people and play people, so you don't want to get into a position of weakness with him.
Charlie, is there anything that you know about Donald Trump that if it became public would prevent him from being president of the United States?
No, nothing.
Not
nothing.
a thing.
I might not know everything about him, but I know a lot.
And let's move off Mr. Trump for a minute and just talk about your general view of the field. Who at this point would you say are the 3 most likely people to be your party's nominee in order? Most likely, second most likely, third?
Well, it's a tough question. I mean, we have a lot of good candidates, more than 3 that are highly qualified to be president. If I had to guess today, I think our nominee would likely come from one of 4 people, from Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Scott Walker, or John Kasich. I think there's a 95% chance of that. You know, 5% chance someone else could catapult into the the lead and be the nominee. But, you know, it's too early to make an educated guess. It's just a guess.
Tell me, of the first 4 states that vote, which one you think Rubio is most likely to win or do well in?
Oh, gosh. He could do well in any of them. I suspect that you'd have to say New Hampshire or Nevada, but again, that's guesswork.
Charlie, it's like there's a pretty good sense of that top tier for a lot of people. It involves some of the people we've been talking about. Do you think John Kasich can quickly make his way into the top tier in the next couple weeks, couple months?
Oh, well, probably not in a couple of weeks. I don't think he'll make the debate stage, but yes, as soon as he does begin the debate, begins to get more attention when he's campaigning, I think he's certainly a first-tier candidate. He's an extremely accomplished governor, experience in Congress, including writing a balanced budget and serving on armed services, and he's a good campaigner. And I didn't mean that as a commercial for John to the disadvantage of others, but he's a very good candidate.